go, bring it up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go.
It's about to be a lit day today.
Hey, let's get back to our swagger, come on.
All of them get the dough down.
That is the juggernaut.
All right, welcome back to the Audible presented by Verizon. Gabe Henderson here. Michael Pierce in the middle of the screen. Ben Leber to the right or left, however you want to look at it. I'm looking at it, and he's at the right of my screen, so I'm not sure if he's to your left or right. But Mike, good to have you back on. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for joining us. I know, well, you know how the format of the show goes. We start with a trivia question, and I remember the last time you were on this show, you said you were a B.J. Raji fan, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we got a B.J. Raji question because it's Packers week. You ready?
Okay.
All right. How many career touchdowns does he have?
I'm gonna go with say 4.
Dang, 4?
That's
I mean,
modest.
they threw him some passes, like Warren Sapp kind of, a fullback kind of stuff. Is it 3 or 4?
It's neither.
2? Oh, okay. Did he not catch a pick and score one time and they threw him a pass?
So he did. Ben, you remember when that pick was, Ben?
Yeah, he did have a pick 6 in 2010 versus Chicago in the NFC Championship game. And then he had only one more. It was a 1-yard scamper against Tampa Bay in 2011. So,
Okay.
All right, so the question is now, if you played offense, what position would you play?
Probably fullback, or I'll probably say fullback or like guard. Obviously guard, because that should be easy for me.
Okay.
But fullback, I played fullback in college. I scored
Oh, wow.
3 or 4 touchdowns. So
Really?
yeah, I was pretty effective. Yeah, pretty effective. 100% on 4th and 1s. Scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns. So I was decent. Short yardage for sure. Probably not the stuff that our fullback does, C.J. Ham. But old school football, I'll probably for sure play fullback.
So I've actually wondered about that because in the game the other day, the Minnesota Gophers game, Daniel Faalele, the big, 380,
6'9" kid,
6'9", 380-pound guy, got a 1-yard, 2-yard plunge in the end zone as well. But when you were doing that in college, how often would you practice that? Like, how many reps would you actually get to receive the handoff and go through those plays?
Maybe like twice in a week. But, as long as you get a clean handoff, it's just about leg drive. And, as long as the O-line gets the push, you can squeeze out a yard. So, no, we ain't practicing too much. But, once they figure out you can do it, they kind of just trust you to go ahead and do it. So, yeah, not much, but I was pretty effective.
Hey, Mike, you strike me as a guy that would spike the ball after he scores a touchdown, no?
For sure.
So, okay, if it happened now and you scored a touchdown with the Vikings, like, would you gritty? Like, what would be the touchdown dance?
For the risk of not doing it properly, I probably would not gritty. I like my belly rub. That's my little signature thing. That'll probably be it in a spike for sure. But nah, I can't gritty, bro. I've never tried. I probably never will. I leave that to them boys.
But for some reason, I feel like I don't believe you when you said you never tried to gritty. I feel like we all been in the house by ourselves at some point and just try to pat our feet a little bit.
There's a Fat Joe song that say "Gangsters don't dance." I'm one of them people. So I don't do too much of that, dog. I don't do too much of that.
I think it's fascinating whenever you guys make a play, especially for defensive guys, because look, sometimes interceptions, fumble recovers don't always happen as much as like the skill position guys on offense. But you guys always know where the TV cameras are. Like, are you guys looking for those things pregame or what? Like, you guys celebrate, and I've seen maybe not you guys specifically, but I've seen defensive guys run 50, 60, 70 yards plus all the way down the other end zone just to do their their posing and their mean mugging and whatever. Like, you guys are like magnets to these TV cameras now.
I'd say it's like a DB linebacker thing. Most D linemen, if you're not close to the end zone, they probably not gonna make that trip all the way down there. Especially once you go past 40 yards. I'm gonna salute you and I'm gonna meet you on the sideline. I'll show you love when you get to the bench, bro. I ain't running 60, 70 yards. And then if you score, you gotta come back out on the field.
That's true.
So I tend to be smart in those situations, but like I said, if it's below 40 yards, I'll meet you down there. If it ain't, hey, I'll catch you on the sideline.
I just remember that one sack you had in Cincinnati where you ran. It's probably 10 to 15 yards.
That was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
A big mistake. I was dying. It was hot back then too. I was dying. Yeah. So that was a mistake, but that was like raw emotion. So you get caught up in it. I did not make it all the way to the end zone, if you do remember. So I was hurt after that one. So kind of cut it down after that, bro.
I get it.
Is there any shame at all in going to the sidelines after some of those moments and grabbing the oxygen mask and huffing and puffing on that thing? Do you feel?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. For me, I don't want to be a meme on the internet. I've done pretty well in not being a meme so far in my career. So I've seen some guys. I know they got involved one time with the shades and the oxygen mask.
They did.
I try to avoid that one.
Now that 2021 is coming to an end, I know you said 2020 not being able to play, you learned patience. You learned a lot of things that you didn't know before you took the year off of football. 2021 though, what were some things that you learned from this year?
Just as like how much I've grown, like even sitting out a year. Dre trusted me and me just trying stuff that I never had the, freedom or, to do in the Raven scheme. And just how much of an impact I can make on the game. So whether it's not always getting sacks, I only got 3, but I got a lot more pressures than I ever had in my career. And just trying to be a better leader. And that's something that I've been working on this year, definitely being one of the older guys in our room, and Griff going down and Daniil going down. So, it's just me being a leader, me progressing in my career, and just putting my all out for this team. But, definitely learned patience this year. I definitely learned perseverance this year, and just grit. And, when I'm out there, no matter if I'm 85%, 100%, whatever the case may be, when that helmet goes on, I'm full go, and I'm turning it loose.
That leadership component of it, sometimes there is like a little bit of a hierarchy, especially in the NFL, where when you're a young guy, you're not really looked at as a leader, and it's almost like that unspoken rule of like, hey, you don't speak unless you're spoken to, sort of thing. When you became sort of one of the veteran guys in the locker room, and especially in the D-line room, is it work for you to be vocal and kind of show that leadership style, or has it always kind of been in you, but kind of been like held back because of this sort of hierarchical approach to the locker room?
Yeah, that's definitely a hierarchy, and I keep saying this, I didn't get drafted coming out, so it's really, I was told probably my first 2 weeks in the business, like it's better to be seen than be heard. So I took that to heart. I just stayed on my grind. I've learned from some tremendous leaders in my career, played with Eric Weddle, Terrell Suggs, Elvis Dumerville, C.J. Mosley, list goes on and on. And I just learned from those guys. And I've always been a talkative guy, a fun guy. I just love the game and just try to have fun as much as I can, but especially coming in the classroom, like that's where, we got to hark down on, the guys who've been there, been accountable, know exactly what's going on with those leadership roles. So like James, my understudy, I take him under my wing. He has like grown leaps and bounds. And that's something I take pride in, but obviously it's up to him to work and apply everything that, Dre teaches him and the little things I give him. But I enjoy it, man. So much so that I'm thinking about coaching. But just me being under Dre and, taking a leadership role and, trying to be the best player I can be, not only for myself, but for my teammates. And, I got guys like James and Armand and, Dalvin is a vet in himself. So, just trying to keep those guys under my wing and give them little tidbits. And it was a wonder to watch them succeed, especially when I was out. So it was awesome.
Man, you talk about Coach Dre. We all know the leader that he is, not only in the defensive line room, but just in this entire building. His energy just vibrates through this entire building. And not having him last week against the LA Rams, what was that like? Knowing that he wasn't on the sideline, you didn't have that extra guy in your ear when you came to the bench.
First and foremost, Amar-J did an amazing job, especially under those circumstances. Our rotations with Chris, just the way he ran the game, I think he did an amazing job. But anytime you lose a coach that, I don't know if he'll go in the Hall of Fame, but to me, when you produce all the talent that he has and just see the guys who flourish under him, you lose a guy like that, that's going to be felt regardless. So, he did his best he can, like from the Zoom calls and everything, just instilling, I've taught you guys everything that you need to know, and it's time to apply it. We didn't do nearly as well as we hoped But it's rough anytime you lose a guy like that, just because he's seen everything in 28 years of coaching. It's nothing he hadn't seen. It's nothing that he can't draw up or fix in the blink of an eye. So man, it's hard when you lose that caliber of coach. But at the end of the day, it's up to us to execute regardless. Unfortunately, we did not do that. But I think Amarje did really well for his first program coaching.
And I did want to ask you about that, the execution piece on defense, specifically against the run. And you guys have had a chance now to watch the film. You digested it. You've moved on to the Green Bay Packers. But I did just want to take a little bit of a rewind and just get your perspective on kind of where did it go wrong with you guys in the run game against the Rams?
To fans, it may seem like a simplified answer, but one guy out of their place, or one guy not fitting something properly, or not seeing something the same way as everybody else, or vice versa, makes a difference. So if you watch that film, you'll see like a lot of those runs cut back. So it'll start off front side, and then they'll find a gap backside. So whether a guy, peeks in the wrong gap, gets walled off, has bad hands or whatever the case may be, that's costly, man. And we got our work cut out for us again this week. And, either way it goes, Sunday night is going to prove to be what it is. So, we're hoping everybody steps up and, we can get back on that same page, especially with these last two games and the playoffs at stake.
Playoff football, that starts on Sunday. But before we get there, we got another segment with you. You standing around, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm here, man.
The Audible, we'll be right back with Michael Pierce.
Let's go, bring it up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go.
It's about to be a lit day today.
Hey, let's get back to our swagger. Come on.
All of them get the dough down.
That is the juggernaut.
All right, we're back. This is the Audible. Michael Pierce is here. Ben Leber is here. My name is Gabe Henderson. Mike, after the Bears game, you tweeted, when I tore apart of my tricep early in the season, I thought my season wouldn't be anything worth mentioning. Mentally, how did you get past that hurdle of missing those few games and then coming back and picking it back up where you left off at?
Just having the right people around me. So first off, it starts with Eric Sugarman, Dave, and the rest of the training staff. Just, obviously not letting me, be in a funk, if you will. So, man, it's just being around the team, having a great training staff, and them pushing me every day, and me just wanting to literally get back on the field, especially with the year I had before. So, man, it was just a whole bunch of people, obviously uplifting me, Coach Dre, Amarje, my teammates, the training staff, just telling me, hey, whenever you're healthy, we know the kind of player you can be, we know the kind of impact you can be. Just gotta get your arm back straight, and we'll roll from there. So, it took 7 weeks for it to get to where I can play, but I stepped back on that field. I've had a good impact. I play really well. So just got to continue to do that. But first and foremost, shout out to our training staff and our team, because when you're in that training room each and every day for 7 weeks, 7 days a week, that it can be draining for sure. But they kept me in good spirits. The weight staff kept me strong and kept me in shape, so I didn't have any issues coming back, and I'm thankful to all of them for that.
Could you, I just want to touch on that again, because I think it's important for the fans to kind of understand. I think sometimes when it comes to these muscle injuries, especially when there's, let's say, a hamstring injury, if anybody's had a hamstring injury, and I'm going to guess that your tricep was kind of the same thing, where you're going to get to a point where it does feel good. And you're like, nah, man, I feel good. Like, I'm going to go out and let's try this. And then you go out to try something, you're like, this is not good. Just can you kind of maybe take us through that roller coaster of recovery of like, your body's telling you one thing, the strength may be not there. It's like you think that you're going to take 2 steps forward one day, but you take a step back. Just that whole recovery process and how it goes up and down.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a roller coaster ride. So I would say you never know how important a body part is until it doesn't function properly. And that's like the case with like rolled ankles, hamstrings, triceps, and me playing nose guard. My legs and my lower body is a big part of my job, but me, jolting linemen back, throwing people, getting to the ball carriers, all that stuff, you need your triceps just as much as anything else. So No, man, it was probably like 3 weeks after. Before I went on IR, I was like, all right, I'm feeling good. I can start lifting weights again. You know, the stuff in the training room got easier. And I was like, man, I just need to give it a go. I need to give it a go. I need to give it a go. And, you know, I went out to practice and I found out probably in the first 10 minutes, I was nowhere near ready to play football. So, no, man, it's and that really hit me really hard. And that's when I went on IR and, you know, I had to sit out three consecutive games or 3 weeks, however that fell because of the bye week. But, no, man, I gave it a go, and I really, you really know, you know, you out there with grown men, you in the trenches. If your triceps are not working properly, it's gonna tell on you. And you know, I was apprehensive to use it at practice the first 2 periods, and when Coach Dre said, Mike, we can't let you play unless you use your arm, I went out there and tried to use it, and I was like, okay. That hurt a lot. I probably should not be out here. So, nah, man, it was an up and down process, obviously, especially when I had to go on IR. Never been on IR. I think I've ever missed more than, I think it was 1 season I missed 2 games. Other than that, I've been healthy. So, you know, that was a roller coaster ride for sure. But, you know, it's days where you feel great and you get out there and it's not there, and then there's days you don't, and then it'll surprise you. So, no, by the time I got to Detroit, we had tested out at practice. And for the first quarter, I'd say I was apprehensive, just turning it loose. But Coach Dre gave me a little pep talk. He's like, you're going to be out there. I need the juggernaut. So I started to play well after that.
The juggernaut and Michael Pierce are going to be in Green Bay, which right now they're saying is going to be the coldest Vikings-Packers game in the history of the game at Lambeau Field, with a high of 9 degrees and a low of 1. And as you already mentioned, it's going to be a night game, so we're most likely going to see the 1 degree, and with wind chill going to be below 0. Is the juggernaut / Michael Pierce ready for that? Yeah.
So interesting fact. I think my 3rd year we played in Green Bay. I think it was in December. When I was with Baltimore, it was 0 degrees. Jeez. I ended up catching pneumonia, but I had a really, really good game that game. I was on fire. It was the year Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Yep. So Brett Hundley was playing, but Aaron Jones was running the ball and all that good stuff. So, no, I'm good, man. Like I said, for me, especially in the times that we have, like we're fighting for a playoff spot, we have to win this game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I could care less if it's 1 degrees or not. Like, I got to play ball and I got to play well. Not only is it Sunday Night Football, but everything that we worked for, if we lose this game, it's over. So I ain't worried about the temperature, man. I'll put some sleeves on, some warm skin, and I'll call it a day. I got stuff I need to get accomplished. So that's first and foremost. Yeah, I'll talk about the cold later, but I need to play well.
Well, that was my question. My question was, were you going to be, you know, Mr. Tough Guy and go no sleeves and just put that warm skin on, or are you going to you're going sleeves, you said?
No. I literally caught pneumonia. Like, I was out that was the year I missed 2 games. Sheesh. Lost like 15 pounds in like 10 days. So, pneumonia is nothing to play with, but I do have upper respiratory issues, which would lend to doing that. I did play that game with no sleeves on. So, I'm a circumvent all that. I'm gonna put the sleeves on, and I'm still gonna play well. I'm calling out Jesus, so you hear me. And man, I'm gonna put the sleeves on this time. And I ain't got nothing to prove.
So you have played at Lambeau. You didn't play Aaron Rodgers, and now it's your first time playing Aaron Rodgers this season because you missed the Week 11 matchup that we played and we won at US Bank Stadium. So just looking at, you know, being in that Baltimore Steelers rivalry and now in this Green Bay Minnesota rivalry, any correlations between like the bad blood between the 2 teams?
Yeah. No, that was probably, especially being in the building and not playing Week 11 or whatever week it was, just like, they had a lot of Packers fans in our building. I've never heard people kind of drown out some of our fans. And that just spoke to, like, these people are for real. Like, when we in our stadium, you don't hear nothing but skulls and, you know, all our chants and all that stuff, but there had a lot of people in the building. And that wasn't even a home game for them. So I heard we travel really well, too. So, man, it's one of those great rivalries in football. I was blessed to play in the Steelers ones, but especially just the significance of this game. It's, you can feel it, for sure. You can feel it. So, the guys are hype. Everybody's upbeat, up-tempo. We had a really good practice today. And we're looking forward to the challenge. And hopefully it's one of those historic games that we end up winning.
You know, I did want to ask you another just sort of X's and O's question, maybe a technique question, because as you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, I know that I'm just thinking about how the game's going to go. I know that they're going to use their running game and Aaron Jones as well with a lot of the play action stuff. And I've never really asked a defensive lineman, what is some of the keys when you come off the ball and you are playing the run and then you realize it's play action and now you have to transition from a run stopping attitude now into a pass rushing attitude all in about half a second. Like what goes through your mind, or how do you prepare for those moments of transition between stop the run, keep my gap, oh no, now I got to rush the passer?
That's one thing Coach Dre, and I actually got a sack off play action. So that's one thing Coach Dre drills in us repeatedly. Just like, so you can read like the angle of departure that the offensive lineman takes. So normally, you know, if it's like a stretch play or something, they'll head on that track. But, you know, when they got to pass it, they don't come off the line of scrimmage. They kind of, you know, try to position. So nose guard, if you're a decent nose guard and it's a front side play action, you have two people on you. It's about, you know, seeing the back doesn't have the ball and then finding a way to split a double team. But like if you get an end like Daniil or somebody, it's just about, you know, when you stop in the run, you got your feet in the ground. It's about, you know, turning your body in a way where you can not only like get off the block, but, you know, accelerate towards the quarterback. And it's kind of hard to, you know, illustrate for guys that you can't see like a film or anything. But it's literally just changing your body angle from, you know, being sedimentary, pressing the block, to, you know, vaulting your body forward in a gap or around somebody. So you don't see a lot of, you know, teams who have really dominant D-lines, they run a lot of play action to slow those edge rushers down. So it's paramount like that your inside guys get a lot of good push and try to find a way through there. But no, it's tough. That's why offenses run that kind of stuff. It gets everybody, you know, once it's third down, those guys get to rolling and the sacks start coming in. So they do a great job of doing those play actions and keeping guys off balance. And, you know, once you get somebody guessing or slow them down, you got a better chance of completing those long balls and what have you.
Yes, sir. Well, that's Michael Pierce. That's Ben Leber. My name is Gabe Henderson. Mike, thank you again for joining us on this edition of The Audible, man. Good luck in Green Bay on Sunday.
My pleasure. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.